Well, Graham, the transfer window's over. You must be pretty pleased with what's happened with you.
What's happened? I can't remember. I don't even know what day of the week I'm on. Look, it's been frustrating over the last couple of weeks. Not being playing, not getting a regular run of fixtures. So it's been on the training ground. We were lucky enough to be invited up to Swansea last week. We obviously thank Russell Martin and his staff and his players for having us up there and giving us a really worthwhile exercise. So we've been working hard. We've had time to reset, regroup, and hopefully we re-go again tomorrow. Hopefully we come out tomorrow. We come out all guns blazing, and we can maybe put our frustrations behind us. Obviously, if we can get going tomorrow.
Do you feel the squad's in better shape with the people you've brought in?
Well, that'll obviously be results, our games, our performance, our goals. That will all link to that. If those are all positive, and I don't think I could answer that today, but I might be able to answer that in a couple of weeks. So hopefully we are, and that was our aim, to strengthen, to improve. But look, we've had some real good lads in our dressing room, and it was just a case of adding to it, bringing a couple in to help us. And just to try and bolster our numbers, because we're going to go into a really ferocious 12-week period where it's 20 games in such a short space of time. And so we needed the numbers, we needed the lads to come in and help us, and fingers crossed they can. And I'd like to thank them and wish them all the best in their Newport careers.
What do the 2 deadline day signings bring? Let's start with McNeil.
Well, obviously the 2 lads, Callum and Charlie, bring us a little bit of legs, pace, energy. Charlie's 2 goals last week against PSG, what's that Dutch team called?
PSV.
That's the one. I was going to say PSG, but they're French. But yeah, Charlie's 2 goals last week shows his class. He went through a little bit of a barren spell, but when he went through that little barren spell, he never stopped walking, he never stopped running, he never stopped offering, going down sides, and it was really positive looking at him going through that barren spell. How well he done for the team. He's then gone out and got himself a couple of goals, and I thought, right, bang, he's back to his best, and that's what happens with strikers. Callum is in really good form as well. Callum, I think, has got 7 and 11. I loved his goal celebration when he got a hat-trick against Liverpool. The character that he had, the qualities that he brings as well, is something that we don't have. So it's a nice blend, it's a nice mix, but again, look, they're young lads, so we can't expect too much of them too soon, and we can't heap too much pressure on them. They've come in to help us, and they've come in to add to our already strong firepower.
You've got to say, for Callum, he comes from quite a good stock, because his dad, who's quite well known in these parts from his days of captaining Cardiff City, Graham Kavanagh, formidable competitor, I'm sure you know. Yeah,
his dad is, but I don't. It's hard and it's tough on my own kids have it themselves when people compare their kids to their fathers or to their parents. I'd like to judge and look and speak about Callum on his merits rather than on his dad's merits. Totally different positions, totally different players. Probably the same characters and the same mannerisms, the same professionalism, but yeah, they're different positions and different players. I'd like to judge Callum on his merits rather than his dad's merits.
Are they all ready to take a part against Swindon, to be in your squad?
Yeah, we're fit, we're healthy, we're all ready to go. They'll be in the squad tomorrow. Now whether they play or not, we haven't made that decision as of yet. We'll have a session this morning and see where we are. But yeah, they're fit, they're ready, they're raring to go. They've had a good couple of days in with us, in with the lads, and I think the lads have taken to them really well. To be fair, they've fitted in. Actually, you'd think they were there weeks or months rather than a couple of days. To be fair, so and that's testament and nature to the lads that we have in the change room. That they welcome them, they look after them, and they integrated so well. And that's the type of dressing room we have.
Any injury concerns?
I've always got concerns, but like I say, we just won, just the one, which is a long-term injury. So that's obviously that's a bit of a blow to us. But like I say, Matty Baker's come in to help us in that area of the pitch.
With Swindon, new manager, first game for Jody Morris. It's rare managers go into clubs that are pushing for promotion midway through the season, so that's a bonus for him.
Yeah, it's look, Swindon's a really good club, well-supported club. They always go well in League Two. They 9 times out of 10 when they're in League Two, they get out and they go up. So we know what we're facing. He's a good bloke, Jody. He's obviously got the Chelsea background, and he's gone in and done some work with Frank Lampard as assistant manager. So he'll know his way around the technical area. He'll know his way around tactics and shapes and formation. It's going to be tough. It is tough. It's going to be tough, as is the next couple of weeks. We know that. We understand that. Swindon are a real good team. We've had them watched. We've seen them obviously, and they're flying. They've got some really top players. None other than their main man in Charlie Austin, and it's going to be a real tough battle for us. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough, but it's one we're certainly looking forward to.
And you talk about the number of games coming up in the last few months of the season. This is almost like the final straight now, isn't it, with the season? But you're still too close to that relegation zone to be comfortable.
No, you're never comfortable. And I wouldn't. 20 games. There's 20 games. There's a lot. That's 60 points. So there's a lot of games to play for. There's a lot of points to play for. A lot of games to play. The final straight would be when you're talking last 3, 4, 5, 6 games for me. So there's still lots and lots of work to be done. There's still lots and lots of improvement and growth in this team. So we are looking forward to the games. We've had a couple of weeks off, so we can't complain when the games are coming thick and fast. And if you ask the players, in fairness, I think they want to play games rather than on the training ground with myself. So I think the general consensus would be games over training, and I think that's always been the way with players. But I just ask the lads to go out, give their all, go and enjoy it, go and do themselves and the club proud. And like I say, winning is brilliant, and win as many of those games as we can. So we're certainly up for it.
And turning those draws into wins is key now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I think when we came in, I think the mentality when we came through the front door, I think it was obvious for everybody to see. Really, was to turn the defeats into draws. And now, as you quite rightly said, I think it's the mentality now as we grow and as we go on into the last 20 games. I think it is key that we turn the draws into victories. But we had to start somewhere. We'd obviously had to stop the rot. We'd come in and we tried to do that. I think we've done that. I don't know that'll be down to people's opinion, but I think we've done that. I think we changed the mentality, the mindset, and I think we've gone from getting beat to now drawing games, which I think we drew 5 or 6 out of our last 4 or 5, was it? Out of our last 6 games, I can't remember, it's that long back. But yeah, you're quite right. Coming in, our mentality was to stop losing games, pick up if we can pick up wins, pick up points. We've done that, come through that stage, and hopefully now it's about, instead of 1, we want 3.
All the best.
Brilliant, thanks a million.
Do you feel like you look forward to getting almost ahead of steam? Because I think you arrived, then there were cup games sort of in the middle bit, then you've had postponements. It's just been a bit of an odd start, hasn't it? Yeah,
it's been a bit all over the place. It's been a bit chaotic. Getting a rhythm, trying to get some continuity into the players. We'd win a game and then we'd go to I think it was Leicester, and then we'd win another. We'd go to MK Dons and Derby and so forth. But I still think we could have won those games, Leicester, Derby and thing. That's such as me, such is the nature of me. Yes, maybe they were beyond us, maybe it was unrealistic of us to think that way, but I like a group of lads, I like a team that believes they can win games of football. And I can't wait to get going, to be honest. I still don't feel I've got going. I still don't feel the team have got going. I still don't feel we've got any type of continuity or consistency. And I'm looking forward to the next 20 games, to be honest, and coming thick and fast. Yeah, we've no problem with that. We look forward to that.
And at the moment, there's probably quite a nice balance in this spell of. I think in February there's 1 Tuesday game, so you get that games, but equally you and Joe can get to work with the boys as well. It's
look, we've been working hard, and one thing nobody can level at our group of lads is the work rate, their work rate attitude. It's been spot on since we've come in. But yeah, with a couple of new faces, hopefully it's a little regroup, regather our thoughts and refocus the lads. But yeah, there's a big job on. We knew it was a big job, and nobody's shying away from that. We know it's an exciting job. It's a great place to work. and the fan base behind us as well is brilliant. You know, you probably, a lot of clubs, I don't think the fans would stick with you. So our fans have, and they've been brilliant. And the players have been brilliant. I keep saying this, and I hope it comes across. I really enjoy coming in to work with this group of lads. I love working at this football club, and it's just right up my street. To be fair, my characteristics, the nature of who I am and who Joe is, we really enjoy it, to be honest. And I think there's a lot to come from this group of lads. I really do think there's a lot to come from.
With Charlie in particular, was that quite a coup for the club to get someone? Whenever someone comes from Manchester United, it feels like it.
Well, I hope people judge him on Charlie McNeil, the player, the striker, and what he does in the Newport jersey, rather than the club he's come from. You could say the same about Callum, even Mike Baker from Stoke. You know, it's one of those young lads that have come up. I've seen him quite a bit. He's obviously gone in around the first team as well. Obviously, my pal is there, Dave Hughes, who helped us with it. Les Parry as well at Manchester United. They've been brilliant to work with, as Kieran Scott at Middlesbrough. So when you've got good contacts, when you've got good people, they tend to guide you towards good players. And hopefully, it's everything. I think what you got to understand from a manager, or coaches, or a team's perspective, when you go into doing the 23 or doing the 21 mark, is it nowadays? Any player you bring in is a gamble. It's a gamble, and some pay off, some don't. So it's about setting the right environment, the right culture for them to come into, the right work ethic. And Callum and Charlie have come to the club because they will fit into our dressing room, because they're exactly what we were looking for, because they have that work ethic, that commitment. And that's the way they play on the edge. So they have that. And that's why we've recruited them, that's why we brought them in, that's why we've identified them. And I think that's why Middlesbrough and Manchester United have both agreed to them coming to us, because they can see what the player is about, and it fits in with what we're about as well. So I'm hoping that both players will be a good match and do really well in their Newport County careers.
As you alluded to earlier, we've seen players come in before with lots of age grade goals, but it's with Charlie in particular, that's extra, because when you make that step up, it's a lot harder, isn't it? So well, there's other parts to his game that will help the team.
I think this club has been fortunate over the years, certainly since I've come in here as a manager, coach, player. I think this club has been built around really good top strikers, prolific strikers, really good players. The names roll off the tongue, and I think they've had a lot of success on the back of that. And we're hoping that maybe two from our 4 or 5 strikers step up and can create their own little bit of personal memorabilia or personal history at this football club. So yeah, look, if it's not Charlie and Callum, well then hopefully it's Oz or Omar or Will.
You mentioned Callum's celebration. Was it special? I've not seen it. Was it? I know it's special for you because it's against Liverpool, obviously.
No, it was just his characteristics, because it was just his nature, and I thought that takes a little bit of character to go and celebrate like that against Liverpool Football Club when you get a hat trick. You know, it was nothing major, no. But it was just something I picked up watching the game. I just thought, wow, that's for a young lad, that's confidence, and his finishing was exceptional that day as well. So. But that's just something people won't know. No, that's just something I picked up, and I thought, wow, that's a bit of backbone. He showed a little bit of spirit, character, or whatever you want to call it. Nothing to do with the opposition, but to score 3 against the Liverpool team, any Liverpool team, shows the calibre he has.
Lewis has gone on loan. Is that? Do you think? Do you think that's the end of his county career, or do you think are you hoping to see something there that maybe you can? From him at Torquay, getting regular game time, you can. No,
Lewis was brilliant. Lewis was he's a great lad, as we all know. He came to me, had a conversation with us regarding game time. We sat down, we spoke to him in general about his even pre myself and Joe time. We spoke to him about his career and what he wanted from his career, and I hope we've helped him. We spoke about game time, Lewis, and he wanted to play more, and I think he was 100% right to kick his career on and to push his career on. He needed that 10-15 game run of games, regular games, and I think it's a brave decision from Lewis. I think it's a very good decision from Lewis, and I was 100% behind him when he come to us and mentioned it to us, because they do, young lads, and I love young lads like that who want to play, who are hungry, and who had that desire to play. Now, because I couldn't guarantee him football, he decided to take things into his own hands, and I thought that was proper, that was manly of him, and it shows maturity and good advice, whether that be from ourselves, whether that be from people in the background and things like that, because there's no doubt Lewis is a talented player. I hope maybe moving away from home helps him in life and in his football career, and I have no doubt Lewis will be a success once he gets that regular run of games, and most certainly we can't wait to track him, to follow him, and have him back with us at the end of the season.
Because change of environment can be brilliant for people at times, can't it? It's just
there's lots of variables, there's lots of bits and pieces that can help Lewis. I don't think he's had a lot of starts. We looked at his stats over the 3 seasons that he's been here. He's had a lot of time. When he started, he's come off, and when he's not started, he's come on. So he's got a number of appearances behind his belt, but none of them are behind him. None of them are actually regular starting runs. Continuity, consistency. So that's what he's gone to try and find. That's what he's gone to get. And I suppose, look, not just Lewis, but I suppose as a player in general, I suppose that maybe take its toll on you if you're not playing regular. And you kind of, I don't know, 1 or 2 players could fall out of love with football. Lewis loved the game, he loves playing, so I don't think he'll fall out of love with the game. But I suppose young players could fall out of the game, fall out of love with the game if they're not playing regular. So I think regular football is key, and I think it's brilliant for him. He's taken his own career in his own hands, and he wanted regular football. So hopefully he gets it. Hopefully he scores a bag loads of goals and comes back to us fit and raring to go.
You say long term. How long will Declan be? Would you have an inkling yet?
Well, we haven't announced Declan being out injured. So I suppose if somebody's wanting to guess, they can guess. But we haven't announced any injuries, so that may be rumour. Okay. So I wouldn't like to comment on rumours.
The long-term injury, is he? Well, long-term is he?
I wouldn't. I don't. The lad is part of our squad. Whether he's injured or not, I don't know. Whether the rumour mill is kicking in, I don't know. But we haven't as a football club, and I'd be very, very disappointed if we have announced any injuries. But we as a football club haven't announced any injuries to our squad. I've mentioned we've had a long-term knock, but I haven't mentioned any names last week.
I didn't put it in.
Well, I don't want to turn around and tell Swindon, listen lads, we've got an injury, we've got someone that's not playing tomorrow.
Is Joe Woodward, is he back?
Joe's come back, yeah. Joe picked up a little injury out on loan. He's come back in, and he's training with us. He's flying. I think he's looking to go out again. He wants to go out and have some regular game time. He's looking to get back out. We'll accommodate him as best we can. Young Harrison and Jack Haradugan, we'll go and see them play tonight actually. They've gone out on loan as well. Lewis Twamley has come back in. Josh Edwards has gone out as well. So the young lads are going out and getting regular football along with their training. What I must mention, I don't know whether you will or not, but I must mention Kelly Anderson, Gareth Evans and Chris Finn, their contribution to myself and Joe and what they've done over the last few weeks in the January window. Staff that go above and beyond, who are absolutely brilliant for us, and they're in the background. They'll get embarrassed with a little mention in the press if anybody wants to give them a mention.
So what do they do? What do they do in particular?
They're brilliant. They've just stepped up to the plate to help us so much at the football club, and they're rallying the troops and they're right behind us. And like I said, with people like that in the background, you've got really, really good people at this football club. And people rallying the troops in the background is powerful. They're phoning us. They can't do enough for us, to be quite honest. And they'll get embarrassed if you mention.
So what are their exact roles?
Well, Kelly's player well-being, and she's held safeguarding, and but she stepped up. She's come into the office actually just to lend us a hand, because naturally January is busy, and Gareth has obviously stepped into the secretary role just to cover that for the few weeks. But to define the role would be unfair, because they do everything for us. They do everything other than go out and pick a team or run on the pitch for us, to be fair.
Give them a few weeks.
Absolutely brilliant people. And
If you go on to injuries, then you never know.
we won't announce the name of that.
Yeah, no, good.
But